Welcome to Beyond the Music, the podcast where we dive into the lives and stories of people who shaped the world of music. I am Lena.
And I'm Karina. We're both classically trained singers, and this podcast is our chance to explore the fascinating intersections of music, history, and humanity.
In our previous episode, we discussed Gothic horror music. And today we'll be exploring something very different. So it's going to be a story of love, loyalty, and legacy that changed the course of Western music. Today we're tracing the emotional web through bound Richard Wagner to three. Sorry, I'm repeating that. Today we're tracing the emotional web that bound Richard Wagner to three remarkable women. Minna Mathilde Wesendonck, and Cosima Liszt von Bülow-Wagner. That's a long name.
It is. When we first meet Wagner, he isn't yet the titan of music drama. He's an ambitious young composer in the 1830s, perpetually in debt and full of restless ideas. And into this chaos walks our first lady, Minna Wagner, a successful actress, older and more experienced, who would become his first and only legal wife. Minna was the practical one. She earned the money, handled the household, and paid off his endless stream of creditors. Their marriage in 1836 began with promise, but quickly descended into struggle. Wagner's operas were failures, his income unstable, and his Wanderlust constant. Minna supported him emotionally and financially, even pawning her jewelry to fund his career. They fled Riga under the cover of night to escape debts, eventually landing in Paris, where Wagner's dream of fame turned into years of poverty.
Those years defined the rhythm of their marriage. Minna, the realist, Richard, the dreamer. Her letters show the exhaustion of living with a man possessed by genius but incapable of ordinary life, and yet she believed in him, or perhaps in the idea of him. Through all the quarrels and separations, she remained his anchor, the person who tethered him to everyday existence. But for Wagner, stability was never enough. As his artistic ambitions grew, his domestic life felt increasingly constrained. And then, during his exile in Zurich, a new muse appeared, one who would ignite both his imagination and one of the greatest scandals of the 19th century.
Who is it?
Scandal!
Oh, that's music!
Yeah. In 1849, after participating in the Dresden uprising, Wagner fled to Zurich. There, he met Otto and Mathilde Wesendonck, wealthy patrons who offered him shelter and support. Otto provided financial stability, while Mathilde, a poet and intellectual, offered something more dangerous: inspiration. Their friendship deepened into an intense emotional attachment. In 1857, Wagner began setting 5 of Mathilde's poems to music, the well-known Wesendonck Lieder, 2 of which he labeled Studies for Tristan and Isolde, or in German, Studien für Tristan und Isolde. You can almost feel the forbidden tension in those songs. The restless chromaticism, the way the harmony never resolves, mirroring the unfulfilled desire that consumed them both.
The line between artistic collaboration and romance blurred quickly. Wagner was still married to Minna, Mathilde to Otto, yet they exchanged letters filled with devotion and longing. For Wagner, this love became the fuel for Tristan und Isolde, an opera that shattered the boundaries of tonality and became the musical embodiment of yearning. But that passion couldn't stay hidden. In April 1858, Minna intercepted one of Richard's letters to Mathilde. Oh no. Furious, she confronted both of them. Otto Wesendonck quietly asked Wagner to leave. Wagner fled to Venice, where he completed the second act of Tristan. Minna went back to Germany. Their marriage never recovered. It's astonishing, really, how a personal catastrophe produced one of the greatest masterpieces of the Romantic era. Out of emotional wreckage, Wagner created a sound. Out of emotional wreckage, Wagner created a sound world that would haunt composers for generations. So, if Mathilde was the spark, Cosima Liszt von Bülow was the flame that endured, our third lady in the story. The daughter of Franz Liszt and Marie Dagoult, she grew up surrounded by artists and philosophers. By the time she met Wagner in the 1850s, she was already married to conductor Hans von Bülow, one of Wagner's greatest supporters. The connection between Wagner and Cosima deepened over the years. By 1863, they were lovers. In 1865, Cosima gave birth to their daughter, Isolde, followed by Eva and Siegfried. And through it all, von Bülow remained remarkably composed, conducting Wagner's works even as the scandal filled newspapers across Europe.
Well, their relationship, though born in scandal, became one of the most significant artistic partnerships in music history. When they finally married in 1870, Wagner celebrated with one of his most personal compositions, the Siegfried Idyll, a chamber work performed privately on the staircase of their home in Tripschen as a birthday gift for Cosima. Cosima wasn't just his wife. She became his collaborator, confidant, and after his death, his successor. She took control of the Bayreuth Festival, turning it into a sacred space for Wagner's music. Under her direction, Parzival was performed exclusively in Bayreuth, and the Bayreuth style, slow tempos, ritual staging, and near-religious atmosphere became the Wagnerian gospel.
Yet her influence wasn't without controversy. Cosima's strictness and conservative politics shaped Wagner's posthumous image as much as his music did, but she also ensured that his legacy survived and thrived long after his death in 1883. She turned Wagner from man to myth.
When we trace these lives together, Minna, Mathilde, and Cosima, we see how Wagner's art was inseparable from his relationships. Minna gave him survival and stability. Mathilde gave him the emotional and artistic spark, and Cosima gave him immortality. Each of them carried a part of his creative soul.
And in each, we find echoes of his operas. Minna's steadfast loyalty mirrors the redemption of Tannhäuser. Mathilde's forbidden passion burns through Tristan und Isolde, and Cosima's spiritual devotion radiates in Parsifal. Wagner didn't just write about love and sacrifice, he lived them, often at great cost to those around him.
He once wrote, "My art is the child of my suffering." Perhaps that's true. The suffering was often shared, but the result changed music forever.
Minna died in 1866, still legally Wagner's wife. Mathilde lived quietly in Zurich until 1902, her name forever tied to Tristan. And Cosima, she outlived them all, directing Bayreuth until 1930, preserving Wagner's world with unwavering control.
Together they formed a kind of living polyphony, three voices intertwined around one man's melody. Their lives reveal the hidden harmonies between love, art, and power, and the price of creating something eternal. So, I hope you enjoyed Richard Wagner and his 3, not wives, but ladies, Minna, Mathilde, and Cosima, as much as we did. And if you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review.
Next time, we'll delve into another fascinating chapter of music history. Until then, keep listening and discovering the stories beyond the music. See you next time.